This has transpired, or is it like gone really quickly? I feel like it's gone really fast. I don't know about you. It's kind of like a metaphor for this summer. This summer has gone by so fast. All right. So happy that we're back for day 5. Uh, it was great yesterday. Oh my God, how amazing was Nyla? Like that woman, mm, like you see how powerful like she shows up in her energy, like when she was just talking. Like this is the transformation that she takes onto stage now. I really hope you guys, if you're in New York, you will go see her show. And even if you're not in New York, you can watch a live stream. They do that at 54 Below. And but did you guys know that's like one of the most iconic cabaret venues in New York? So definitely check out her show this weekend. Okay, who played with their energy exploration cards? Tell me in the chat. Who played with them? Did you do the thing? Did you like cut them and fold them and like pick one? They're kind of fun because you never really know what you're gonna get. Awesome. Melissa did it. Jim did it. Yes, Celeste. I saw what Celeste put into the chat. You guys could pick an energy affirmation card to just approach this session today. I think that's an incredible idea. How would I approach this session today if I got to be perfectly imperfect, to speak to the one that we were playing with yesterday? Good. I'm so glad you guys were playing with it. Do it. Do this stuff. Okay. Who did their meditation today? Let me see. Show of hands. Even if you didn't do it any of the other days, but you did it today, celebrate that. Honor that. Yes. Jim did it. Melissa did it. Mila did it. Katerina did it. Yes. Celebrate that. Tyvee did it. Joe did it. Good. Okay. Who is 5 for 5? Who's 5 for 5? Let me see you. Let me celebrate you. Tell me in the chat. Put 5. Put 5 if you're 5 for 5. Yes. Sam. Yes. Way to go, Sam. Tyvee, Jim, Darlene, you guys are showing up, man. You are on fire. This, yes, Steve, yes, Mila. Mila, 4. That's good. 4 is better than 0. You know? So we just keep showing up. It's like I tell the singers in the program all the time. How does a football team get down the field? 1 yard at a time. They're not looking back. They're just looking at what do I get to do on this next play, right? So maybe you didn't do your meditation yesterday. Today's a new day. How are you going to show up today? You do it today. Yeah. Good. Hey, Gordon, good. 3 out of 5. Good. 4 out of 5. Joseph, nice. Keep doing it, guys. Keep doing it daily. All right. Also celebrating Harvey Height and Marilyn Bankler for their enrollments into the intensive training program. Woo-woo. Celebrating you guys. Super excited to have you in the fold and in the tribe. Cannot wait to inspire you and guide you and support you into all the shifts and transformations that I know are just waiting for you. So really celebrating each of you for taking that inner knowing and not just leaving it in the room, but actually taking action on it. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to get to today. So just a reminder of our housekeeping. Save your questions, train first, then we will answer questions. And you guys, Sunday is like an entire day of Q&A. So like if I don't get to your question in the time we have today, like that is what Sunday is for. I know, and because I go back and I like read the chat after the fact, because sometimes I'm too like in the moment here and I don't always see what's happening in the chat. And I noticed that some of you were asking certain things like about the breath work and the implode and things like that I might not have gotten to. So like Sunday, that's your day for the Q&A. A reminder, this is our safe space. We encourage bravery, vulnerability for those who sing, for those who share. I have zero tolerance policy for any meanness, criticism, any judgment in the chat. So help me to uphold that value here in the meeting, and just really compassionate, really supportive in how you're engaging in the chat. All right, let's get to work. Okay. So today I want to give you my secret weapon for finding your sound. And one of the things that I hear a lot from otherwise talented singers is that they don't really understand why they keep getting passed over for the things that they're going out for. Like you're doing everything you know how to do, but the gigs, the auditions, the big opportunities that you're up for, they keep going to other singers. Do any of you feel that way? Like you're auditioning, you're going out for stuff, you're putting out records, but you don't get the plays that you want. You don't get into the callbacks. And it's not for lack of trying, but it's just like these opportunities that you know you're capable of. They're just not, there's a disconnect, that impact gap that we were talking about earlier on in the week. And yeah, I see you guys totally relating. Melissa's saying yes. Like, and so one of the reasons that otherwise talented singers don't stand out is because you're not tapping into your unique emotional home and being truly vulnerable and letting that show in the moment of performance or recording. And for some of you, maybe the way that manifests is you end up just being like a really good parrot of somebody else's sound, somebody else's performance. And you may realize it, you may not realize it. Like any of you feel like you can do a really good parrot, like you can make yourself sound like X or sound like Y singer. But when it comes to like, what's my sound? What's my unique special sauce? What am I bringing that it's really something that you get kind of stuck in and blocked in? You don't really know what your lane is, what your special sauce is. And so today I want to give you one of my favorite tools for accessing your most authentic emotional connection to yourself and to your song. Because in truth, that is what connects to the audience, is when you are the most connected to yourself. And so this is a step-by-step process to help you do that and really find that most authentic emotional connection in a song and really make that song yours. So first, I want you to think of a song that you sing that you know really well, that you've sung many times, that you likely have memorized. It's always better if you're not like in your lyrics, right? A song that's not too long, like no 8-minute Bohemian Rhapsodies today, okay? So think of a song that you know really well. And if you have a song like that, and you would like to be our volunteer, our guinea pig to coach in your special sauce, finding your unique emotional home in that song, use the raised hand function. And I'm going to walk you through this going forward, like how we do this. Okay. So, well, I see Jim's hand in the chat, but I also got a chance to work with Jim yesterday. So I'm happy to work with you, Jim, if nobody else volunteers. And I also did get a chance to work with Melissa. Miss Trey, I have not had a chance to work with you yet. So go ahead, unmute. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so what's the song?
Well, I usually just, when I sing for people, I usually sing just the chorus because, if I'm singing and, it's just like a last minute. But the thing is, the entertainment, I can sing like a male and a female.
Okay.
And they usually go like, oh. So I don't know
Well,
if you want
let's pick one song and like just a verse of something or a chorus of something.
Okay, I just
Let's
have
see
the
if we can help
chorus.
you connect in a way. So what song do you want to play
Okay,
with?
would you like me to do both versions or just a female version?
No, I would like for you to just do what is your natural female voice.
Okay, okay. Because I hear both, and even the guys are like, oh, it's me. Okay, so I'm entertaining sort of. Okay, so
Okay,
okay,
can you stand up? Can you stand up and do it?
okay.
Yeah.
Now this is just the chorus part, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna start learning to do the whole part. What happened?
I see you.
Okay. Can you still see me? Because I can't
Yeah.
see them.
No, I can see you. Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. 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 So this is
Okay.
just it's an old classic song. So okay. So it goes. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. We don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hills to climb. That's the female version. Would you like to hear the male version?
Well, only because I'm curious as to what distinction you're making. So sure, let's hear what
Okay.
that is.
You want the male? Okay. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. We don't
Okay.
need a... Okay.
Okay, cool. So I really want, you guys, we all have a natural range that we were given, right?
Yeah, I've been
And
singing since I was 4.
no, yeah, and you can sing in your lower alto range. You can sing in a little bit of a higher range in your soprano range. But to my mind, it's not really male or female. It's you.
Mhm.
It's your voice. Tell me your first
Mhm.
name.
My full first name?
Your first name, whatever you prefer to be called. What do you prefer to be
Okay,
called?
well, most people call me Trey, but
Right. Okay, then that's
my
what I will call you.
okay.
Okay. So what your I don't want it in your mind to be a distinction of male, female, whatever. This is Trey's voice. This is your voice. And you have low, you have middle, you have high. And so what I would like to work on, because I feel like when you do what you consider the lower, the more male, what you were considering more male, um, just my expert like feedback is that you tend to put pressure and you tend to push it down physiologically, and it puts pressure on your larynx because mind is thinking, okay, it's low and low lives down here, so I need to push it down in order to get that.
Mhm.
And that leads me to believe even though you can and you have that range and you can do those notes, when you're not needing to manipulate it to go down, that's much more your sweet spot, like home range, which doesn't mean you can't sing down there and it doesn't mean you can't sing way above there. So that's why I'd like to work on what you're calling more the female sound, because I think that is much more of your sort of authentic, organic sound produced in a way that you don't have to manipulate to get it to be that. Does that make sense?
Well, I've had a lot of people test me when I was singing in the professional choir, and I wanted to know what I was, whether I was alto or whatever. And she started every note she sang, played, I could sing, and she said, "You could sing whatever you want." I'm like, "Really?" And I was
Okay,
saying,
so
"Choir."
can I speak to that? Because I
Yeah.
think a lot of singers have that, might have had an experience like, well, what is my voice type? What is my range? So
Hmm.
your voice type, you guys, does not solely have to do with your range, with how low or how high you can sing. That's part of it. It's funny, I was
Hmm.
just having this discussion with another singer recently. I don't remember who I was talking to, but no matter. So you, in your God-given range, by your physiological instrument, which is the length and the what do you call it, uh not width, like girth of your chords. Thickness is the word I'm looking for. The
Hmm.
length and thickness of your chords, for all of you, for everybody, determines your voice type. So if you're a bass baritone, your chords are longer and thicker. If you're
Hmm.
a super high coloratura soprano like me, my chords are shorter and they're thinner. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody who has shorter, thinner chords can't also sing low and can't also, you know what I mean? But what it means is that you have your God-given range that has to just do with your physiology. And when you optimize your technique and you optimize your breath support and your resonance, your anchor and your sail and all that, like we were talking about the other day, you will be able to reach the full potential of what your God-given instrument, your physiological instrument, is capable of doing. But
Hmm.
that doesn't determine necessarily your voice type. It has something to do with it, but it's not the only thing. And what really determines your voice type is what we call the tessitura, meaning the place in which your voice like feels like your sweet spot. So I can go really low and I can go really high,
Me too.
but what's my sweet spot, right? And so when I was watching you, just watching how your body needs to manipulate to do the male sound, the lower sound, it
Mhm.
leads me to believe that's not the sweet spot, because the sweet spot doesn't require manipulation.
Mhm.
And so that's why I want to work with you on what I think probably is your sweet spot, could be more of a sweet spot, which is more the female sound, which again, doesn't mean you can't sing low or you shouldn't sing low. It's just like for your own knowledge, right? That where your voice likes to be, meaning like, my voice likes to be like in the middle of the staff, like, right around, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, like kind of right here. And
Mhm.
that's what makes me a soprano, because that's
Um,
where I like to be. And my range supports that because I have the upper extension that sopranos have.
mhm.
there are people who, like mezzo sopranos, I know, who have a higher extension, who can sing above the staff, who can sing A's, the B flats, right? But that's not their sweet spot. They like to be down. They like to be C, D natural, E, F. And so I think part of the exploration, you guys, of really getting technical mastery is so that you understand the full potential of your instrument and you know what your sweet spot is, because you have the full potential of your voice and your range at your disposal, instead of thinking that your voice is something that maybe it's not, just because you don't have the full potential of your technique and your range at your disposal.
What
So
can I
in any
say?
case, maybe
Okay.
that gives you some perspective, I hope it does. But let's go back to this idea of finding, the emotional home in the song. Okay.
Well, can I
So
tell you something?
yeah.
Okay. I've been singing in choirs, and I remember one time I couldn't be there. So he would tell me, he goes, I couldn't find anybody to replace you. He had to go through all the choir and find two people. And so he wanted, when I came back, he wanted me them to sing my solo, then he wanted me to sing it. So I have a lot of times when people hear me, they have me singing all by myself. They have me going up and down. I've been in professional choirs, and I'm like, because they share their solos with other people, but they always give it to me. And I'm thinking, well, can't somebody else sing part of this? And they're like, no, you sing it all. And I'm like, up and down. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I've been doing that for years. I've been singing since I was 4. My mother was an organist and a pianist. And the first time I sang, I'm sure I sang like a little girl. She was playing for a male choir and they wanted me to sing one of the verses, but I'm sure I didn't sing like a man. I probably sang
Well,
like a little
but it's
girl.
cool that you've had all this experience. So I want to help you connect to the emotional home of your song and help you, because you have this experience of, I can sing all these things and I can sing all this and I can sing
They
all
told
that.
me.
Yes, yes, you can. And let's find Trey. Let's find Trey's sweet spot. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm curious, in this particular song, which is like a super famous song, we all have heard it
That's why I
before.
sang that.
But but let's talk about for you. So I'm going to take you through a series of questions to help you connect. And I'm going to give you guys this inquiry. You're going to get it in the homework tonight. So you don't have to
Okay.
be like frantically writing these things down. You're going to get this. So the first question I have to you is, if this song were a monologue, like if you were just speaking these lines, right?
Mhm.
Who like, where are you when you're singing this? Who are you talking to? Like, in your imagination, what's the scenario? What's going on here?
Well, usually I sing whenever I go places and people, oh my gosh, I sing basically because I have some kind
Okay,
of
wait, I
situation.
want to pause you. I want to pause
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I should have been more clear.
Okay.
I'm not asking where you particularly are, like in the external world. I mean your character. The person that you wrote this, who wrote this, who's saying what the world needs now is love,
Mhm.
sweet love. And so now you're saying this. You're now the person. You're now the character who's delivering this.
Mhm.
So who are you talking to? Let's start there.
Well, I used to be a counselor, teacher, and all that, and I tend to make people, even strangers, come up to me and start telling me things, and I'm just a natural counselor. And so, to me, the reason why I'm singing a song like that instead of, oh yeah, I beat that lady up and I punched her, that people have. No, I want to sing something positive, and what the world needs now. Everybody likes that because
Okay.
it's a positive thing.
So
So
I
that's
want
why.
you to be specific. So you guys, this is really important because we can tell that Trey connects to this song and it means something to her. It's about positive energy. It's about
Yeah.
spreading that message of love, right? But connection happens in the specific.
Mhm.
And when we're talking about being able to make a bigger impact on our audience, we need to be
Mhm.
able to connect to the song for ourselves in a much more specific way. So
I love people.
can you come up with somebody? And by the way, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's what you connect to. Is there somebody you can think of in your life who really needs to hear this message?
My brother.
Okay. Okay. So did you guys see how, like, all of a sudden she was very clear? Like, that's a clear energy, okay? Because the energy I was getting the first time you sang it was nice, but it was kind of diffuse. It was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So now you're very clear on who you're talking to, okay? And Why does he need to hear this? Like, why must you sing this and say these particular words to him right now? Like, what's just happened? Let's imagine this were like a movie in your mind and it were seen in the movie. Like, what just happened? Maybe something he said or he did or that you saw that you are now compelled. You have a reason to say the lyrics of the chorus.
Well, okay. The reason why I like it, to sing it, because it's a positive thing, because there's so much negativity going on, and people are being abused and different things. And so to let them know that the world needs love, and
Uh-huh.
and all that. And people
Okay.
tend to think that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I want you to be more specific. So you
Mhm.
identified your brother needs this message. Okay. So why?
All right.
What
I
could
hate,
have just
all right, I'll be
happened?
honest. My brother he's older than me, and he used to be very abusive to me,
Okay.
so
Do you
that's
guys
why I say the
understand how
same to him.
that's like way more powerful than the world needs positivity? Yeah, it does. And this is way more powerful. Like you're singing to somebody who abused his power, who did not take that message of love and kindness and compassion. Okay. This is
Mhm.
going to be a very different song if she's singing to him than if she's singing to, like you said, you work with children a lot, like to sing this song to a group of kindergartners who are sitting there. You can see how it's
I
two
work
very
with
different
teenagers
emotional
too.
homes,
I work
right?
with teenagers who nobody, matter of fact, that's my thing that they sent me. But teenagers, and they're telling me how much they love me and how great a teacher I am.
Okay.
But they're
But
actually saying to
that's
them, nobody else wanted to teach them. But I
But
was
that's
giving
very
them,
different, right?
yeah.
Can you see how if you're singing this to teenagers, it's a very different subtext than if
Mhm,
you're singing it to your brother because he's the one who abused you and he needs it's like you're killing him with your compassion. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So I love this because this is interesting. This is specific. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so can you come up with a scenario in which you and he might be together and he might do something or say something that would cause you to say, you know, brother, what the world needs now is like not your stupid BS abuse, but love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you come up with an imaginary scenario? Use your imagination.
Yeah. I could have done it when my mother was alive because he was abusive to her. And I could have said to him when he was being abusive, I could have said, what the world needs now is love, sweet love, and all that.
Okay.
Because for some reason, she would let him do things and say, well, that's just how men are. And then when I raised my sons, I realized, no, I was the
Okay.
opposite. I raised my sons to be loving and kind.
Okay, but you guys, do you see how just with these simple questions, you're now connecting to things, Trey, in this song that have so much deeper meaning for your mother. Your mother took it. You at that point didn't speak up, but it caused
Oh,
you to raise your kids differently. Like this is rich. And right now, this is not what's coming through in the song at all. The song exists. Honestly, I'm just going to say this, not because the song exists as a choir singer, not as a soloist. But I know you have the soloist in you. When you connect to this, connecting to this is what makes the difference between the choir who's just doing what everybody else does versus the one who's telling her story through the song.
I've written
Figure
songs too.
what?
I've written songs too,
Okay, so then
and
this
people
is
like
super
them.
powerful to use in that context also. Okay, so
Mhm,
now another question. So let's do the song again from the same
mhm.
place that you did it. But I want you to put yourself back in that scenario that you just described when your mother was alive. And you said, I could have said something. I should have said something, but I didn't. So I want you to put yourself back in that moment. And I want you to give yourself the opportunity to say to him through this song in that moment what you didn't say then. Okay. You play
Okay.
with that?
Okay. So you want me to sing the song like if I'm telling him what, is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Tell
Okay.
him what he needs to hear that you wish you had said. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, stand up.
But the funny thing about it, my mother was going to pay me money just to get on his case. And I'm like, what? So I raised my kids to, that's why I was able to do those teenagers because it's mostly boys and nobody would, but then I could because I knew how to deal with them.
Okay, so use all of that rich experience and put
Okay.
yourself back in that moment.
Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
bring that to the song.
Okay. All right.
So
What
see him,
do
see him. Do you see him? Put him
my
somewhere on
brother?
the
Okay.
wall or somewhere right where you can like see him right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. We don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hills to climb.
Yeah. That's a totally different sense of impact. It's a completely different sense of impact because you are connected to something that is connected to your emotional home, that means something to you, that is specific to you. And we read that. Like we feel that so much more. And that performance is way more impactful. I want to hear more. I want to hear what more this person has to say because now you've drawn me in because you're connected.
Right.
Good. Well done. What was that like for you? What was that experience? How did that feel to you?
I love singing that because it is nice because there's so many people that are abusive and mean and they like to pick on people and that's why I like to sing it because we need love. Stop picking on people. And then like I
Huh?
said, I wrote songs too that people hear and they're like, even kids be
And
like,
what was that like, though, for you to have that experience of being specific and singing it to your brother?
mm-hmm.
What was that
My
like for
aunt too. I have an aunt too. She likes to lie on everybody. And
you?
she always, so she's her and my brother, they should be related. They should be siblings.
Right. So when you have an opportunity to perform solo, do this work, get specific because it's
Okay.
way more powerful. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Let me see. Who else have I not played with yet? Gina Marie, I have not played with. I don't think. Have I? I don't think I have. Where are you, Gina? Hello. Hi. Go ahead and unmute. There you are. Hello. Are you unmuted? Say something. Ah, that's weird. You're unmuted, but I don't hear you. Hmm. I'm putting my, say something again. I think your internal mic on your device must be off or not connected or something because you're definitely unmuted, but I'm not hearing you. So you know what? I'm going to give you a minute to figure it out. I'm going to go to Sapphire and then I'm going to come back to you. So just put in the chat like when you figured it out and we'll come back. Okay, Sapphire. Where are you, girl?
Hello.
Hello. How you doing? Good to see you here.
Good. I had a virtual argument. It took me like probably like 10 minutes trying to get in. I was fighting
Oh.
with my phone.
Okay, so do you have a song, something that you know really well, like a verse of something? Okay, what is it?
Okay, I had this chorus in my head from a Casting Crown song today, and I usually don't listen to this song very often, but it was just in my head, so I'll go with that.
Okay. All right, let's play with it. So take some of the ideas that I was giving to Trey and let's see if you can answer some of these questions, right? So who are you talking to?
Hmm. Should I tell you the song first so like we can like get into it?
How about this? Why don't we do this? Can you just speak the lyrics of the chorus or whatever section you were going to do? Can you just speak them as though you were just delivering these as like lines like a normal speech, not singing? Can you just speak it to us?
Okay. It's like this. When someone dries your tears, when someone wins your heart and says you're beautiful, when you don't know you are, and all you long to see is written on his face. Love has come to finally set you free on that wedding day.
Okay. So what would you say is the overarching emotional home of the person, in this case you, who is speaking these words right now?
I think it's like when you're receiving something so awesome when you never thought you could ever get that.
Okay. So what is that emotional state? Is that awe? Is that excitement? Is that joy? Is that disbelief? Like, what is it? What do you think for you?
Like a
The
wonder. I think
wonder.
it's
Okay. And so when you're in wonder, because wonder is a state of being, but it's not an emotion, right? Like you could, so what does emotional state does wonder bring up for you?
joy.
Okay. Okay. So knowing that where we're starting is that place of joy and wonder, or we'll call it joyful wonder. Okay. So what just happened right before this character says the first lines that you were just saying that makes her say this? You need a reason to say this. So why is she saying this?
So in the previous verses, she was like a beggar, like she's like crawling through like the dirt and stuff, and then all of a sudden she gets like lifted up to royalty. So it's like an allegorical song. So it's like I said, like huge wonder, like how could this happen to me? Like I didn't deserve this. Like
Okay.
thankfulness.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you, as Sapphire, have you been elevated from a peasant to royalty?
Mm, not exactly, but like I can kind of think of situations kind of like that.
Yeah. So because a lot of times we're singing stuff, especially if you're a musical theater singer or an opera singer and you're not writing your own music or you're singing covers, where there's something that we're, in describing in the song that's not something that we have actually ever experienced. But you're on the right track, which is what is something in your life that has inspired that same joyful wonder? Because once you identify the emotional home, then you can go look and say, well, I've never actually been elevated to royalty, but I have had this experience, which creates that same sense of joy and wonder in me. So do you have something in your head that you can draw upon that gives you that same experience?
Yeah, it's like a Christian song. So I think my spiritual walk is like this, like when all the times that I'm like bad or undeserving, and then I get forgiven, and then I'm like, and then things go well for me, and I feel like I'm so blessed that I didn't deserve it, and I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful, like I didn't deserve this, and I'm like being blessed. So I think that's kind of how I look at this song.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, anything that makes you feel that sense of wonder, of like of I like the deserving piece that you're pulling in with it. And also that piece of like, how could this be? Like, I oftentimes, for me personally, like looking out in nature, like I'm looking out and I have this big picture window in front of me, and the bluebirds, they come and sit. And it's
Wow.
like, of all the trees that they could have come sat in, they're sitting here, like so something that connects you. Okay. So what I would love for you to do is we're going to do the section, but before you start, I want you to take what I call the magic moment, which is that moment where you connect to that intention, where you breathe into that intention and that wonder. So the breath, if we're going to connect this to technique for a second, that release breath that we were talking about is creating space for not just the air to come in, but this feeling of wonder and joy. Okay. So take that moment to create that on the inhale, and then let's do the section.
I'll get a drink too.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay.
So
What's the
I'm
name of the song?
thinking of the lyrics and the meaning and the things like that.
Yeah, I just want you to be in the emotional home. The lyrics will flow from there. Don't overthink it. But just really, your job is to like cultivate a sense of wonder and joy, just like you decided. Okay, breathe that in and let's play with that.
All right. I'll just set it. Is that good?
Yeah. Take one step closer if you can. Cool. Okay.
Do I sing it?
Yeah.
Okay. When someone dries your tears, when someone wins your heart and says you're beautiful, when you don't know you are, when all you long to see is written on his face. Love has come to finally set you free on that wedding day.
Okay. All right. So I saw some good news stuff, and I also saw some stuff that kind of betrayed what you were actually trying to do. So I saw like the new and probably the old at the same time. So from here up, I saw that feeling of wonder, that feeling of connection. But from here down, your body was doing this thing that I don't know if you recognize, but you were all, it was this kind of thing. And by the way, girl, I'm not the only one who does that, okay? Like
I
this,
know.
you know? And here's the thing, while I totally appreciate that you want to feel free in your body and you want to feel that expanse, that wonder, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we lose and what you lose is a sense of grounding in your emotional home, a sense of certainty in your emotional home. And that has a huge effect on the impact of what you're doing and how the audience receives what you're doing. Okay. So I want to do an experiment and I want you to plant your feet. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Just plant your feet. And for a second, I want you to feel the floor. Like if that, maybe press your toes into the floor, but just like feel the floor for a second. Okay. And when you know something to be true, like you know it, like you were just saying, you're a spiritual person, and even though you wobble and you have challenges, that forgiveness always is there for you, that faith is there for you. Okay, so that sense of certainty, that sense of knowing, where do you feel that in your body?
My heart, I think.
Okay, and when you have like certain unshakable beliefs, right, like tell me something that's true about you. Like for example, what's true about me is I can take any singer and make them a better singer. Like that is an unshakable truth that I have.
I
Like,
have brown hair.
okay, that is an unshakable truth. Okay. Tell me another one. Tell me one or two more unshakable truths about who you are, who Sapphire is.
Let's see. I'm a girl.
I'm a girl. Okay. Tell me something about what one of your superpowers is. We all have superpowers. What's one of yours that you know?
I'm a good cook.
Ah, okay.
People.
I can make some good food. Okay. So when you say the things that you know, I am a girl, I am a good cook. Like, where is that knowing? Where do you feel that in your body?
Probably my gut.
Okay. So she's identifying these two places, the heart center and the gut, otherwise known as heart chakra and root chakra. Okay. And they're energetically connected. And the seat of your connection to others is the heart. The seat of your connection to yourself is your gut.
Ah.
Your sense of knowing, your sense of certainty, your sense of security. Okay. So I would love for you to visualize like an energetic channel from your heart going all the way down through your gut, through your sense of knowing, all the way into your feet. Okay. And I would love for you to share the lyrics of this song with the same sense of knowing that you told me I am a great cook. Like I know that. Okay.
Okay.
Can we play with that? Try it.
Okay. When someone dries your tears, when someone wins your heart and says you're beautiful, and you don't know you are, when all you long to see is written on his face, love has come, finally set you free.
Okay. Let's pause
Day.
there for a second. It's so interesting because what I saw now is I definitely saw you centered and grounding way more this way for sure. And we actually got a little bit more like focus and stability in the sound, but there was one part of your body though that wasn't quite on board. There was one part of your body that wasn't quite into the stability. Are you present to what it was? Yeah, but this is kind of showing us that there's still some insecurity, but there's one part of your container in your body here that was like not quite on board with the certainty that the rest of your body was bringing. You know what it was? Any idea?
Yeah, it felt much better than last time though. When I grounded like this, it was
Oh yeah.
much.
Oh yeah. But here's what's going to make it feel even better. So the part of her body that's still not in the certainty is her neck. And the way that we know and the way that we know this the way that we know this is when you go back and you watch the recording, Sapphire, you're going to see much more stability in your energy from here down, but neck and head are going like this and really trying to help you reach to whatever you think is out here that you need to,
Oh,
okay? But here's what I know. Here's what I know. Nothing that you need is out here. Not the sound, not the
right.
energy, not the story, not the audience. Everything you need is from here down, not just in the energy way that we were just talking about, which is very important, but also in terms of the stability in your technique. Okay.
That makes
So
sense.
if I was there in person with you, I would literally stand behind you and I would hold your head. I would literally like hold your head. Okay. So, so one of the ways that we can like do this without me having to do is you can do it. And I want you to like put your hair in like a ponytail and I want you to like pull like up at the way top of your head. Like put it way up in the top of your head, like an I Dream of Jeannie ponytail. Okay. Yep.
Here it goes.
Yeah, we do this all the time. Like I said to Tyvee today, I was like, because you're coming into the program, I was like, there are gonna be things I'm gonna ask you to do, and you're gonna be like, what does this have to do with anything, Arden? And I'm like, just roll with me. There's a
Okay.
method to the madness. Okay, so now I want you to like pull it up as far as you possibly can into the top of your head. Yeah, like really, and even if it's not all the top, you can just take part of it, but I want you to literally pull your head up off your spine. Like pull, like I want, yeah, but hold it closer to your skull. Okay. Hold it
Okay.
right close to your skull. Good. And pull up. Okay. Create, yep. Do you feel now there's some space between your vertebrae because you're pulling the heaviness of your head off your spine. Okay. Now your hand is holding your head up, but the rest of your body is dangling down in the opposite direction. So you're like a skeleton in science class. It's like hanging from the skull and all the other bones and spines like dangling down, okay? And your job, because you're already holding your head, is to direct the rest of that energy in your body from your heart space down to your root chakra, down into the roots of your feet, okay? And this has got this. And you'll feel if you start to go like this, you're going to feel it, okay? So this is like acting like a little metric for you, okay? So can you do it
Okay.
again? And I want you to focus your energy entirely on this connection that we were just talking about, okay? And try it again. Oh, wait, do you feel what happened?
Let's see.
Did you feel that on the breath? Did you, right? Yeah, you'll see it, but yeah, right? Okay,
Move.
yeah. You don't, your head doesn't need to help you to have breathe. You don't have lungs up here. Right?
Yeah.
You get to just start to trust and pull your head off your spine and allow the rest of your body to do what it knows how to do and then play with the words.
Okay. When someone dries your tears, when someone wins your heart and says you're beautiful.
Okay, wait, do you realize now on the word beautiful, we start to get did you feel that? Yeah. Okay, so you guys, we're gonna do a little technique now. I know the focus was about making the song your own, but like when I see it, I gotta nip it in the bud, okay? So roll with me for 1 second. Your neck still wants to help you rise in pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I can tell that you're using the lower part of your body. I can tell that you are, but this also wants to engage because it doesn't trust what's going on down there. It still wants to go like this, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to move your head gently from side to side.
Oh, yeah.
Looking over one shoulder, looking over the other, gently and slowly. And I want you to do, and that you're beautiful. Still do that same phrase, but while you're moving your head, okay? And just focus on that connection that goes right down the middle while you're moving and do the lyric, okay?
You're beautiful.
Yes!
That
And
was
now
better.
she got into her head voice. Did you see that?
That was weird.
That's
That
what
was
needed to happen. Okay. So see let me explain this just so you get it. Okay. She was pushing her chest voice up and she didn't have enough support to do it. And so it was flat and it felt tight and you were just pulling and straining to get up there. Okay. When she couldn't grab and engage her neck anymore because I had her moving, you can't grab your neck if you're moving. So she's going like this and it forced her to let go and just trust what was happening down here. And then she flipped up to head voice, which was appropriate for that rise in pitch. That was really cool. Can you describe what that was like for you?
It felt free and powerful at the same time because this chorus is why one of the reasons I thought it would be good to do it is because I feel like it's so strong that I lose power when I sing this chorus because it's like bang and I'm like, and it's so like I lose control when I try to go loud. And it felt like I actually could reach it without fighting for it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
free.
No, that's exactly. So for you, when you're doing the technique exercises and stuff like that, like move your head to like get rid of the security blanket. Okay. Okay. That was fantastic. Well done. Okay. So we'll see if we have some more time to come back and coach a little more, but I have a special guest that I'm so excited for you guys to meet. He's one of the coolest people that I know. Like, he's so special and he really knows what it's like to feel stuck and held back in his voice. And he has a lot of gold to share about what's allowed him to have such amazing breakthroughs to free his voice to something much more powerful, much more reliable that can sustain a really big moment that he's having in his career. So we not only get to meet Adam, who I will introduce in a second, but we also, he is not just Adam, he is also Admira. And so Adam won RuPaul's Drag Race. If any of you follow that, you know in that world, like what a big deal that this is, okay? And he won last year, which catapulted him into these big performances and this big moment in his career that he'd always wanted. But he was hiding a secret, which is that his voice could not hold up to the moment that he was having in his career. And he was in so much tension and strain, and he couldn't rely on his sound. And the pressure of the moment was causing him to have panic attacks and anxiety before shows, like because his income and his career were depending on him, and he didn't want this big moment in his career to pass him by. And he didn't want to be known as like just another drag queen who had like an okay voice. He wanted to be known for his voice regardless of his onstage persona. And now, a year later, he just performed his first sold out, or maybe the second one has happened already, maybe by now, sold out headline European show. Please welcome one of our intensive training grads, Adam Risberg. Adam.
Hi.
Hi. It's
Hi,
so good to
Arden.
see you. I like almost yesterday asked you if you wanted to come on as Admira or if you wanted to come on as Adam, but I was like, no,
Oh,
I want.
so nice to be back here.
I
So nice
know.
to see you. Hi, everyone. Or as we
So
say in Swedish, hej allihopa.
yes, Adam is in Sweden. Um, so I would love if you would just start by kind of telling everybody what you were feeling and what was going on and what you were experiencing when we first met.
Well, when we first met, I was in a state of my career and in my life, and especially in my singing, where I felt so stuck because as you were mentioning during that lovely introduction, that I had these big performances coming up since after winning the show, and I wanted to sing live. I've always wanted to sing live, and I had done it for a couple of years, and I had gotten different people who trained me in different ways. But and I know that I can sing, but I just felt like I didn't have the tools or the enough knowledge or the enough securement within myself to deliver a performance on stage. I was so afraid of performing, and I felt a bit crazy because in my mind, like I'm this drag queen superstar who sings live, but then my mindset and my technique and all the different things were kind of standing in my way to reach my full potential. And so I was just in a very worried and scared state of mind, I would say, looking back.
Mhm. Do you remember what the biggest fears were for you at that time? Do you remember?
Yeah, I felt like one of the biggest fears I had was definitely to be judged. And I had a very, you know, strong side of me wanting to be perfect. a very big perfectionist part of
Who
me.
relates to that, by the way? How many other perfectionists? Just show
Yeah.
some love in the chat.
Which is a fool's game. But, you know, we got to dissect that a couple of times during the intensive, which I'm very grateful for now. But definitely, you know, putting this pressure on myself. And I just realized, like, looking back, I didn't have any fun. Like, performing just felt like this horrible thing that I had to do and that I had to deliver and prove to everyone that I was good enough or that I, you know, that I was this superstar. But where was the fun? Like I couldn't enjoy any of it. I wasn't
Yeah.
present. I wasn't happy at all.
That's the thing that I remember the most about the first conversation that we had, which is like you were like, I won. Like I have the career. They're offering me all these things. And I am terrified and I am not enjoying any of this. I want to be on stage and love doing this. And every time I get offered a new show, I'm like anxious and anxiety, and I'm not enjoying this at all. And I don't want to ruin this moment.
Yeah, and it felt just horrible because I mean I was grateful for like the opportunities and all the fabulousness coming my way and I felt like I had worked hard for it, but at the same time it was so much pressure like okay, now you go out on stage and you're going to sing live for thousands of people and you already have like insecurities with so for some part within my technique, absolutely. But looking back, one of my biggest struggles was definitely my mindsets and um, my sort of well, the mental part about singing and my connection to that.
Mhm.
Mm.
And so would, you had obviously like said that you had had other voice teachers, you had had other training and everything. And yet there you were. And I remember you said to me, Arden, I don't just want to be known as a drag queen. I want to be known for my voice and for my performances, like regardless. And so why do you think that like this approach was so much more aligned with who you are and what you wanted?
Well, I knew that I wanted longevity within my career and that I wanted, you know, my sort of motto that I wanted to aim for with my type of entertainment and performance was come for the drag, stay for the singing. So that was sort of the, because, you know, I go out on stage and I look gorgeous, but that'll only last for a couple of minutes. I mean, then I got to do something, you
Right.
know.
And by the
And
way, it does look gorgeous. It's like it's insane. You do look gorgeous. But
thank you.
yes, because that only lasts like a few minutes and then they're sitting there and they're like, what are we doing here?
And you know, performing for me, it's about connecting with people, making people feel stuff, whether it's happy or sad or whatever emotion comes out, making an impact. And drag is a very visual art form, but I mean, if I'm doing like a 90-minute show, then I want to reach further than just the visual aspect of the show to
Yeah.
make more of an emotional impact on my audience.
So what would you say, if you're cool to share with everybody, like we're the biggest, as we call them, mind weeds, right? You think of the mind as a garden, right? And the weeds that were just taking over the mind garden, the biggest mind weeds that you identified through the work that we did.
Well, I remember we had I think we were working on a technique class, and I was, we were just working on like a certain scale or something, and um, I said like in the spur of the moment when you were mentoring me or teaching me, I was like, well, if it's not hard, then it's if like it has to be hard in order for it to like work. Like
Right. If it's
I
not,
can
it's
only
not
be
hard, it's not good.
exactly, yes. And it just came out of me because I didn't have time to think about what I was saying. And you were like, hold it, like wow, we have a mindset situation. And I hadn't even thought about it that way. But it really is. It because it has nothing to do with the reality. It has to do with like what I'm experiencing. And that is only temporarily. It has nothing to do with, you know, the reality of things. But also another mindset thing that I remember that I still think about to this day, expectations. That was a
What were some
big
of the
one.
what were some of the expectations that you identified, if you don't mind sharing?
I mean, I both had positive and negative expectations. The negative ones were, oh, this performance is going to go really bad. Like, I'm going to lose focus on stage. And I was just expecting it to go the wrong way. But I was also expecting things to go so well that I would like
Perfect. The
to prove
perfectionism.
myself. Yes, the perfectionism, it would just thrive on stage and everybody would just love me. And like, but also like I realized during the intensive, especially with the expectation part, the worrying about what might go wrong, that is also a form of expectation. And I hadn't even reflected upon that whole concept of expectations. And that really changed a lot for me because you shouldn't expect anything like negative or positive.
Right,
So,
because remember, guys, what we talked about on Monday about present moment and being the present moment with the body, and how the mind wants to go to the past, shame you about what didn't happen yesterday, or go to the future and, trip out and worry about what happens next, whether it's in the next measure, the next high note, or 2 weeks from now, your next audition or whatever. And like what Adam's talking about is identifying these expectations that he had of himself, which either keep him in the past or keep him in the future and stop him from being in the moment right now with his instrument and his voice. And like the very first one that he was just talking about, I remember that day like clear as day when you were like, well, if it's not hard, then it's not good, or something like that. Like the expectation that in order for it to be impressive, it needs to feel difficult. And if it
yes,
feels easy, it's not impressive.
it's like cheating. Like if it's easy, it can't be for real. It's too good to be true.
Right. And can you see, you guys, how that expectation could massively sabotage what happens in your body? Because then if it has to be difficult in order to be good, then what are you going to create? What were you creating?
I mean, it was just a sabotage for myself, like a bad circle of like failure and sabotaging myself, not even knowing it, because it's also like a reflection of my own self-worth. Like I deserve to sing with ease and have fun and just experiment and see what comes out of my body when I'm doing it. And if I decide, if I make the decision that this is something that's going to be difficult and you only deserve it if it feels hard. Well, don't I deserve to feel it if it's easy to?
Right.
Like,
And if you only deserve it if it's hard, then you're going to create hard.
yeah.
And that's what he was doing.
Hmm.
And so I'm curious, what were some of the biggest shifts, transformations for you, aha moments that helped you? Maybe there's certain mantras or reframes, certain things that maybe we talked about that really helped you to shift out of that.
Um, well, there were definitely like certain like physical things in my technique that we worked on. I mean, I was watching this hour now where with definitely like noticing my body wanting to interact to try to help, like with my neck interacting a lot during my technique classes, um, which is also a very like positive thing to gain awareness of, because it's not really like me trying to control things with awareness. It's just like this old reflex or a reflex that you just need to kind of connect with and accept and, you know, act with kindness towards yourself. So that was like a very good eye opener, but also um, I remember like we were doing like an exercise to focus my resonance, like an NGA exercise, where you start on an NG sound and you open up to an A vowel. And I just, we sort of came to the conclusion during that class that I always started my sound from here and not from here. And once we started working from this area, everything just started happening with my voice. And we came up with this own, or I came up with my own little, thing to remember it, which was that I'm a unicorn. Like, here's my, unicorn. What's it called in English?
A horn, your
A
horn.
horn, yeah, my unicorn horn. And I'm just taking a bath. So I'm a unicorn taking my bath. And it sounds crazy to some people, but that's what worked for me in order to open up that resonance.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
yeah,
taking a bath part, you guys, though, that was something that we came up with to reframe the idea of it has to be hard.
yeah,
It has to be difficult. No, no, it's a bath. It's a bubble bath. Something you get to luxuriate in, you know.
exactly.
Um, and that's been a very powerful reframe for you. And so what has this allowed you to do? Can you share more about some wins and some things that you've been up to?
Well, I took a little break from my drag in the beginning of this year for about 2 months because I just felt like I needed to, step aside from that wheel of gigs and things going on, just to kind of relax, like for real in my body and in my mind. Spent a lot of time meditating, and I still listen to some of the meditations. And once I got back into singing, because it was like a break for about 2 months, my inner like sabotage brain started thinking, oh, wait, now I've taken a break for 2 months. What if I don't like come back and I'm as perfect as all those thoughts coming back. And what was so interesting was once I just, started reminding myself about letting go about the expectations and just being in the moment and letting myself enjoy it. Uh, Another thing happened with my voice, and I don't know what it is, but I have a bit of a higher pitch now, where I definitely feel like my resonance is higher. So what has happened now with my songs that I do in my shows, I've had to like turn up the key like 1 or 2 steps, which
That's
is
awesome.
so fun because I never thought that, I get to sing my songs in a higher key, but that's just something that has happened. And I never expected any of that. No expectations.
Right.
But now I've been working on my one woman, one man show with original music. I get to sing live for like 90 minutes. It's also like talking and comedy and things like that. And for next year, I'm working on singing with an orchestra live. So that's going to be so much fun.
That's just gonna take the grandiosity to a new level. I'm like picturing you walking on stage in because you guys, I've sung with orchestra many times, and like it's the perfect opportunity for like a massive gown. And so
Oh
I'm just
yeah.
picturing.
I'm gonna have my gown and cape moment, and I'm gonna be like, "Where's my orchestra?" Going out.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you were talking to some others, people who are in this group, who are in this workshop, who really want more of what we do here and thinking that they might want to train with our team, do the intensive program, but maybe, they're concerned about, will it work for them? The investment, the time, the anything. I mean, you're in Sweden and, you were able to get here with us, but what advice would you give having been through it yourself?
I mean, looking back, I I know that I was a bit hesitant after when we had our first call because it feels like a big step, especially where I was. But if I could like time travel and go back to that Adam like over a year ago who was so stressed and worried and just didn't feel happy with performing, I would just tell him, just, you don't need to worry at all. Like, you need to do this. Like, you're not going to regret it at all. Because looking back, like, of course, I got so many tools within my singing technique, of course, and that is one aspect of it. But I also got to dissect so many inner fears about not only performing, but things that were affecting my everyday life. So, like working with Arden and Judy, like it just turned out to be such a much more bigger thing for me. And that's just for me personally. But I mean, I live in Sweden. Like there's a 10-hour time difference. And I still showed up to all the classes and stayed accountable and did the whole thing. And it's not only an investment for like a gig, like this has almost been like a year now since I did the intensive course, for example, and I'm still applying so many things from that class and from all those classes. So I'd say just do it. Like if you feel stuck, if you feel like worried and you feel like, or if maybe you just want to like improve certain aspects of your performance, with singing and your mindsets, it's a great thing to do. For me, the big game changer was definitely the mindset work, because to me, it's always made sense that singing has a lot to do where you are mentally and in your mind. It's not only about technique, about breath support and all of that. Like we can learn that. That's one thing, but in order to actually let go of things and let go and release your sounds, you have to like let go of all those inner fears and all those mindsets that are sabotaging for you. And that is something that I always go back to all the time. And I'm so grateful for it, honestly. Like today, I enjoy performing. Like I can't wait to go up on stage and sing and have a good time, and also like to take my time when I'm on stage. Like I go up there and it's my time. Like I don't need to
Do
rush.
you guys hear the global belief? Do you hear that? We literally coached on this yesterday. And I said, one of
Really?
the four global beliefs that I have noticed from the most successful singers. And the fourth belief was, this is my time. This is my stage. This is my show. See, guys, he was paying attention.
No, but I'm just so grateful. Like it's truly, you can't really put a price on actually like enjoying what you feel like you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for it and
Yeah.
happy.
Thank you so much, Adam. I can't wait to see you up there with that orchestra and that fantastic dress. And I will be celebrating you every step of the way. You guys give a round of applause for Adam. Thank him so much. It's like, I don't know, it's like 11 p.m. his time. So, Adam, thank you for showing up on your Friday night to share your nuggets of wisdom. And,
What else is there to do on a Friday night? I would love to do this every Friday night.
thank you for that. And if you feel like dropping a link to any of the stuff that you're up to or your website or whatever, put it in the chat so that everybody can, support you and give you some shout outs. And thank you guys all so much for being here today. If you're listening to Adam and you're thinking, that's what I really want, to be able to trust my voice, to be able to get out of my own way and bring that joy back again and be able to look forward to performances. And because I know I can deliver when it counts, and I know how to walk through the ups and downs of my career with that self-care and that what I call radical self-care, to be able to do the things and make that impact that I really want to make in the long run. And if you want to work with us in the intensive training program to achieve that, then your next step is to schedule a discovery call with me, and we'll see if this is the right fit for you. Ashley's going to put the link in the chat for the call. And so, the intensive training program, we're talking a little bit about it these last few days. It is our flagship 4-month training program that I developed to be able to train singers 360 holistically, technique, artistry, mindset. And we do that with technique accelerator trainings for full command of your technique in the most consistent, reliable, healthy way. We do that through mind-body integration modules to deep dive into your own unique patterns of thinking and shift how this is affecting your body and your impact when you sing, when you perform, when you record. When we do that through individual weekly coaching in the context of the group to make sure that you are embodying all of your new skill set, mindset, and artistry in the most effective way. We do it through weekly group mindset call, which is topic focused coaching focused on supporting the mindset necessary to facilitate the vocal growth and the career growth that you want. We do it through one-on-one accountability mentoring with your mindset coach. You get a mindset coach, you're working with, Adam mentioned Judy, that's who Judy is. She's our expert mindset coach who you work one-on-one with to help you break the boundaries that have really previously stopped you so that you can actualize the results that you want. And through our community, through our safe space, where singers get to go beyond their comfort zone in a really compassionate and really supportive community. This is a bit of an artistic incubator. You are amongst like-minded artists where you get to learn and take action and grow and achieve your creative goals together. And so the program is for you if you're resonating with Adam, if you resonated with Nyla and Jules, and despite your best efforts, you're still not where you want to be in your singing, and you're dying to sing in a way that is much more reliable, consistent, powerful, where your body is working for you and not against you. And if you've invested in other vocal training in the past that hasn't gotten you the results or the opportunities that you really want, but you really have that dream of getting consistently better results from your auditions, your performances, your recordings, like no more putting in all of this time and work and money and not seeing the kinds of outcomes that you want in your singing career. You know, if you desire to sing without tension, without strain, without vocal fatigue, in a way that doesn't just sound good, but feels good, like what Adam was talking about, getting on stage and feeling so good in that moment, and that's sustainable long term. You want to be able to find your sound, tap into your unique voice, what you have that nobody else does, that I call your special sauce that sets you apart from the other artists. And more than anything, you want to know that anytime you open your mouth, you can trust your technique, you can trust your body to be able to tap into 100% of your potential to make the biggest possible impact, no matter what. Then that's what the intensive training program is here to do. And so a reminder that we have 2 days left on the enrollment bonus. So we've got $2,000 off our normal tuition for everyone, extending that to everyone here in the workshop who enrolls by Sunday night. So the tuition is only $1,897 a month, or an extra $1,000 off if you do the pay in full. It comes down to $7K. Our normal full tuition is $9K. So if you want to get the discount, do it by Sunday. Now a word about tomorrow. So tomorrow, guys, is like the most important day. I mean, we've done great skill set, we've done great technique, we've done anchor sail, opposition, breath support, we've done mindset, but like tomorrow we're gonna go deep, okay? So I'm inviting you to bring your vulnerability, I'm inviting you to bring your honesty, and we're gonna do some critical mindset work tomorrow. The biggest hurdle for pro singers that I have identified over 25 years of working with you guys, the biggest hurdle that pro singers experience and how to get over it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do tomorrow. The homework is the making a song your own exercise, that inquiry that you can go on. Ash will put it in the chat, the homework, the link to be able to do that tonight. So that just kind of is a whole page of the inquiry that I was taking some of these singers on, but in a way, in a step-by-step that you can take yourself through with one of your songs. And let's see. I think that's all of the logistics. We have about 15 more minutes, so I want to kind of go back and coach. Gina, were you able to get your sound rocking? Let's see. Say something. I still don't hear you. Wait, now you're muted. You did unmute for a second. Okay, now say something. I still don't hear you. I think there's something going on with your internal mic. So this is what I'm going to say. See if you can troubleshoot it. And then on Sunday, when we do our Q&A day, like we can come back to some of this, okay? Because I do want to play with you a little bit. Okay, is there anybody else who hasn't gotten a chance to coach yet, who wants to play a little bit with some of the making your sound the emotional home, the connection, anything that we were talking about. Okay. If not, then Melissa, I see your hand is up. So I'm happy to come back to you if you'd like. You can go ahead and unmute. Okay. So it's very dark. I cannot see you very well.
I know. I'm actually, I'm just going to move from where I was.
Okay.
I have a puppy and, well, anyway.
Okay. So what do you have, a verse of something, a chorus something? What do you want to play with?
All right. Oh, what's happening? So I was thinking about a couple of different ones, but like, so for instance, one of the big songs that I get to sing is White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. And yes, so that's the one.
Okay. So why don't we do like verse and a chorus? Okay.
Okay.
And can you stand?
Yes. Sorry, forgot about that.
Okay.
Okay. Is that
Yeah,
is this all right?
Yeah, I can totally see you.
Or, okay.
It's fine. I can see you. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like I was made for radio originally, so it's always weird being on camera. Okay. So okay. Am I doing this with who I'm speaking to and
Yeah, if you've
jazz?
identified that, let's absolutely tap into that.
Okay. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. So call Alice when she was just small. And then I'm thinking, sort of a chorus. When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low, go ask Alice, I think she'll know. When logic and in proportion has fallen sloppy dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Remember what the dormouse said. Feed your head. Feed your head.
Okay, good. Side note, do you have your original sound on?
I do.
Is it not just enabled, but actually turned from off to on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
maybe am I a little too far or something? Maybe.
No, it was just, I think that you enabled it, but I don't actually think you turned it on. There's two steps to it because it was cutting out on some of the longer notes, but I could hear what I needed to hear. And it's funny because my main comment has less to do with how it was sounding and more to do with the sort of energy and presentation. So it kind of didn't really matter. But if you know how to, I don't know, Ashley, maybe if you can just the instructions for a phone for not enabling it, but actually turning it on, like when you're in the meeting, if you can put that in the chat, Ashley, So you see what she just put. So scroll over the three dots that say more. And then that screen pops up where you can select enable original sound. Click that.
It's clicked.
You guys hear the difference all of a sudden? Okay, there we go.
Cramp. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so that just will help us. So as we do it again, so remember how the other day we were talking about the idea of implode, and we were talking about it in terms of energetic sound direction from the perspective of breath support, so that singers, you know, aren't going to push too much air out. But there's also the idea of implode when it comes to storytelling and owning the story and the energy and the space that you're in. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you have a very powerful presence and you have a very powerful voice. And you don't need to explode it to us, nor do you need to explain it to us. You do not
Right.
need to come towards us at all. There's an analogy that I love to give when I'm coaching singers in the program, which is the idea of don't chase boys.
Ah.
Right, like what does grandma always say? Grandma says, don't chase boys, right? And audiences are the same way. Like, so when you think about, like, you know, when you were like dating, or if you're dating or whatever, and it's like, you don't want the guys who are like constantly calling you and texting you and like won't leave you alone. You're like, stop chasing me, like, stop. You know, who do we usually want? Is like the dude who's like over there, or the woman who's over there in the corner, just being her badass self, just owning her shit. That's who we're usually drawn to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And audiences are the same way. Audience, don't chase your audience. Bring your audience to you. Melissa, don't chase boys. Bring the boys to you. Okay.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
there's this compulsion that a lot of us have, which is, I need you to understand me. I need you to feel my power. I need you to feel, yeah. Okay. So can we do it again? Because I get that you're in the story that you're telling, and I get that you're connected to it, but you're connected to it as though it needs to be explained out here to us instead of the beingness of it. Don't show me the story, be the story. Bring us to you. Can you play with that idea? Can we do it from the choruses?
Oh, you mean from when the men on the chessboard, or like before that?
No, from there.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wait one second. Okay.
Okay. Did you guys hear like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God! Yes, and that's
the story that your mind is telling you right now.
I really want to get it right, and I know that when I'm working stuff in the beginning, that's not always how it is. Like, even if I get it here, it's like the conditioning isn't there, you know.
Okay, so tell me, what's the story that your mind is telling you about why you have to get it right now?
Because you're the teacher, and I don't want to waste everyone's time.
Okay, so do you guys see how if this story keeps perpetuating, she's actually going to sabotage the experience that she really wants? Because number one, I got to get it right so that I am of value to everybody, which is doing what? It's placing your value where?
Oh yeah, definitely on my singing. I mean, that is my whole worth and value in the world.
But I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say it's placing your value on what's outside of you, whether people think that you were worthwhile to listen to, or whether you wasted their time, which is entirely about what somebody else thinks, which we cannot control. Neither can you control what I think, which is I want to impress the teacher. I want to do well and make the best out of the time, which is normal, by the way. Like, you're not the only one who has this, okay? But also what it does is it puts us in this place of trying to control things that are fundamentally uncontrollable, namely people, places, and things. We cannot control people, places, and things. They are outside of us. Okay. But so many of us go into our performances, our auditions, even singing in class. And we are so concerned with trying to control these external things that, in truth, guys, we have no control over. You cannot control what I think of you. You cannot control what anybody else thinks of you. And what I think of you is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of me.
Right.
What I think of you tells you more about me than it does about you. Okay? It has nothing to do with you most of the time. And yet we make it mean that. And now we want to control that. And all of that control is going to show up in your body, and you're going to try to force it because you want to control the outcome. And then what happens? Melissa, this happens. Blah. Okay? That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
explode. That's the, okay. So you guys, if we don't understand the motivations behind these things, not only is it not going to feel good because she's going to be in anxiety trying to control something she fundamentally can't control. Because when we try to control people, places, and things, we are setting ourselves up for failure. And that's anxious, that's anxiety provoking because we can't,
Yes.
right? And now that the body is now in the physical, hormonal, chemical experience of the stress hormones and the stress, all of the stuff. And now your body isn't set up to receive the energy, to receive the connection that you have with yourself, to receive the sound. Okay. So how would you do this if you didn't give a shit what anybody thought? If you weren't trying to impress me, if it didn't matter if your value were not tied up in what happens in this moment right now, how would you do this if you have intrinsic worth and value no matter what comes out of your mouth right now? How would you do this? I don't know. Don't tell me. Just try it.
When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low. Go ask Alice, I think she'll know. When logic and in proportion has fallen sloppy dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Remember what the dormouse said.
Stop right there. It was imploding, was imploding, and then we got to the big part, which mind has assigned is the big part, which is what the man said, right? And then we went from implode to explode. Right.
That makes sense.
Okay, did you feel that?
I felt myself tighten. Yeah, I felt the tighten up. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, here comes the thing. I got to be impressive. I got to get it out. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And so like I could see you kind of in the new and in the old. Like I could see you kind of in that tug of war. I don't know if you felt that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And so what could you be willing to notice or appreciate or believe either about yourself or the circumstances or just the nature of the universe? What could you be willing to notice or appreciate or believe that would allow you to just step into that receiving mode instead of needing to prove? What could you notice or believe, be willing to believe?
Wow. My mind just went everywhere.
Okay, so throw the spaghetti on the wall.
I mean, in terms of like what would be possible, or like what, you're talking the belief actually.
Yeah, let's focus it on that. What could you be willing to believe that would allow you to drop the rope of that struggle of being in the new and in the old and just allow yourself to go beyond your comfort zone to receive the energy and the sound that is already there?
Well, Oh, well, that's not answering the question either. I guess I'm thinking about things like the results, but I have to get to the belief part. So
Yeah.
the result part I know I want is that I would not be stressed here, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be like bracing myself to get to the big part.
Intellectual mind knows that, but we're not focusing on the outcome. I want you to see what could you be willing to believe that would allow you to let go of all those expectations you have about what has to happen and just be in the moment with your body and your sound. What could you be willing to believe to allow yourself to let go and receive that?
Um, there's something coming up right now about the idea that, um, like, maybe I wouldn't have to push and try to belt there. Like maybe I'd be like able to be I don't know, a little softer there,
So
or
I'm
that.
going to pause you. I'm going to pause you because
No, I'm not doing this.
well, because you're a smart cookie. You're bright. You're smart woman. And your logical mind really wants to take over here and talk about outcomes and techniques and logic and stuff. And so that's like the 10,000 foot view. And I want you to zoom out to like the 30,000 foot view here. Okay. So an example, let me flip this the other way for a second, because we're talking about beliefs. Okay. And you guys, the beliefs run the show. The beliefs run the show. And so the belief that you have had is that you identified a minute ago is I need to push and I need to like really force this so that everybody else in here gets value and they think that I'm worth the time and that I didn't waste the time, and that Arden thinks I'm impressive so that I do a good job so that I succeed. I need to push in order to get that. That's the old belief. Okay. So what could you be willing to believe that would allow you to let go? Because that's what you believe that causes you to force and push and tense and blah. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess one of the things I was thinking just now, like, I'm not sure how to voice it in the positive yet, but I'm thinking like
I'll help
maybe
you to say it. I'll help you frame
like
it.
so something like while I'm singing, I don't have to prove anything.
Okay. So the new belief is I don't have anything to prove. Everything that, yeah, the new belief, I could be willing to believe that I don't have anything to prove. And I have everything that I need right here within me. If you had everything you needed right there within you, then there is nothing to prove. If you have everything. How does that feel to you? I don't want to put it in your mouth. I want you to feel like you can elucidate it in a way that makes sense to you.
I didn't have to prove it. And why wouldn't I have to prove it? Because I just had, like, so that I just have intrinsic value, just being a human being me, whatever that means.
Yes, like my talent has value. My voice has value. My essence, my energy has worth. Regardless of what happens in this situation, regardless of who's listening or not listening, regardless of what Arden thinks or what Arden doesn't think. I don't have anything to prove because I have value regardless. So I like that. I like how you put that. So let's do it again. And before you do this section, I want you to say out loud what you're willing to believe, what this new belief is.
Wow. Whew. Boy, that's a big one. Okay.
And it's just being willing. Notice, I'm not asking her to completely buy in. That takes time. That takes conditioning. It's, how would you do this if you were willing to believe that you had intrinsic value and you didn't have anything to prove? How would you sing this? I don't know. Do it.
Okay. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, you're leaving right now for your gig? No. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, so you state, how would I do this if I was willing to believe, and then fill in the blank?
How would I do this? How would I do this if I was willing to believe that I have intrinsic value and I don't have anything to prove? Oh my God, my stomach totally relaxed. I stopped holding it in. Oh my God.
You guys,
Am I not?
this is how this works. Okay.
Oh,
Because if she's holding that, that's what's causing her to push. That is the control. That is the overdoing, the over muscling. You just let that go. Okay. So now
so literally, I don't hold this at all. Like, at all.
when you inhale, you are relaxed, you are free. And then when you go to make sound, you gently lean into your flex and then you release it again when you breathe. See, you're girding yourself all the time. We had that whole conversation. You were breathing, you were talking, whatever, and you were here the whole time to push, to prove, to be good, to be right, to be loved, to be all the things that we want, you know? And you let that go when you stated that new belief to yourself. And so now you have give and you have agency. You're not just in your habit of here all the time. You can be in that place to let it go when you breathe and then to lean into it when you feel your support kick in when you sing. So do an experiment. I don't care how you sound right now at all. I just want you to play with what this new thing feels like in your body, okay?
So, just like, you mean just to make sounds, or?
No, do the part of the chorus. Relax and release and have that feeling when you breathe, and then engage into your flex when you go to make sound, and then when you breathe again, find that same release.
All right, so if I have intrinsic value just by being here now, okay, nothing to prove, nothing to prove. When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you've just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low, go ask Alice. I think she'll know. When logic and in proportion has fallen sloppy dead, and the night is talking backwards, and the Red Queen's off with her head. Remember what the Dormouse said.
Yeah. This is really interesting. This is super interesting because you're finding the release, okay? And I saw somebody put in the chat who said, wait a second, I'm not supposed to, who said this? Blah, 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 blah. Somebody said, wait a second, I'm not supposed to, wait, who said this? Somebody, let me find it. Steven said, wow, the difference. No, wait, did somebody, am I seeing things? Somebody was like, wait a second, I'm not supposed to defense. Who said that? Okay, I don't know. But let me just address that, okay? Because the point of this is there is an on and there is an off, okay? Melissa, I don't think you've ever experienced the off, the release, until literally just now. You probably walk around girding yourself with that.
I do.
But the off, meaning you guys, you're in your flex and you're in your support. Like you can see me flex. So I'm gonna breathe in and I say, ah, ah, like you can see me start to flex, okay? That happens and that I'm leaning through, I'm not holding, I'm not girding, I'm leaning through it when I phonate. And then when I breathe, I gotta let it go. So when you breathe, you release and you relax. And when you phonate, you flex and you flow through. So what was interesting, Melissa, is that in the verse sections that were more low and middle voicey, I heard so much more ease in your voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much more. As we got into the chorus, like what the dormouse said, like that part, right? Body had been like lulled into this release. And at that point, it needed more. It needed a little bit more, but it doesn't need to hold there and live there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
my God.
that. But like you guys, this is the power of this work, which is if she goes into every audition, every performance with this massive need to prove and to force and to attach the worth to everything, that it's going to show up in your body, you guys, because that's what happens. It's what we do as humans, is we physicalize our thoughts and our emotions and our feelings. But it will sabotage you at every turn as a singer. When your body is your instrument, if you're not aware of what these habits are, to be able to undo them, to be able to use your instrument more constructively for the impact that you want to make. So thank you, Melissa, for being like
Wow.
so vulnerable and like willing to just play here. Like massive, massive props to you. Okay, you
Thank
guys, fantastic, fantastic work today.
you. Oh my God.
Go continue playing with these tools. If you want to have a conversation with me and see if the intensive is the right fit for you, your next step is to get on my calendar for a discovery call. I've set aside time in the next few days. If you know that this is the place for you, get in while the discount is still there. Take care of your enrollment before Sunday night. If you have additional questions, bring your questions to the Q&A that we're going to do on Saturday. Tomorrow, we're going to go deep in the mindset work. Go post your distinctions, your aha moments, the things that you don't want to forget in the Facebook group, and enjoy your Friday night. And if you're Adam, go to bed because it's like freaking late in Sweden. All right, guys, sending love, love, love. And I will see you all back here, same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, everybody.